everyone, Peter here again, and as you can tell from the title, there's some problems with the latest test server, which, remember folks, it's the test server, so let's actually hope it's just things that I were either left behind from previous testings before they got ported over to GMS for us to test, and they were just an afterthought that they didn't think to double check and remove. So let's hope that's actually the case, but assuming it's not the case, let's go over exactly what we're dealing with. Stuff like Sword Cab, untradeable Sword fragments on regular server, which that was surprising. Don't know why. Nerfed Oz boxes, Frenzy Totem being nerfed in instance without notice. Although that one is a little bit of a lesser situation, mostly impacting service, but overall it does impact regular server as a whole. To those who use it, so there's that. You got Kana's domain being absolute dog water, you know, giving it boss damage for itself rather than something like final damage for itself. Heck, I could go on and on about Kana, but currently we already know what's going on. Instance maps, good, but as I mentioned previously, it does hurt the Frenzy Totem situation, but that's a more of a complex situation that I'm not going to tackle because I don't have the, actual enough knowledge to go over that, so I'll leave that be for now. But also, for the people who are giving Nexon staff shit for this, please take note. This is not me defending them, this is just me using fucking common sense. Here's the thing. They don't work on the weekends, and obviously, allowing us to get onto the test server on Friday of all days was probably not a good idea, but yeah. So hopefully next time, if anything, they give it to us a little early, before the weekend or after the weekend. So the point I'm getting across the fact that it is Saturday when all this stuff went down, Friday when it started, Saturday when it was a little more fleshed out because more like the Beamer Gators were able to get a couple of the prequests done. So yeah, unfortunately we're gonna have to wait until Monday, which is as of this video will be tomorrow. So thankfully, CM Jade was kind enough to actually say something at all, which is me saying something right now, because as we've known in the past, we've had false promises of open communication, transparency happen for a long period of time. Once again, I'm not trying to give you shit, Nexon, but credit where credit is due, and if you don't have anything of credit to merit such response, you're gonna get the exact opposite. So, this is me giving my honest opinion. I may or may not be putting my position as Beamer Gate at risk, but I feel like as somebody who is part of an influencer group with Nexon, I'm like obligated to do something like this, or like actually help push forward this community feedback. So let's go over specifically what we're talking about, or what's been highlighted. The first nerf that got quite a few people mad is Soul Urta Daily Cap. First of all, let's preface something about MapleStory. MapleStory, it is not just dailies. You got casuals, seasonals, and then you got the sweaty bastards like me. Well, I used to, but not anymore. But that's besides the point. Here's the thing. MapleStory is inherently a grindy game. When you put a cap on some anticipated content that required hours, hundreds of hours to complete, and people were like, oh man, I can't wait. I've got time saved, I got resources prepped, I'm down for the grind, and then you do a full 180 on us and show us, hey, guess what? No, we're not gonna let you. What the hell? The only logic I can get behind the cap, or the initial idea, is which I discussed on my Twitch earlier last night, is for one simple thing. Trying to pace people, which is not a bad idea, but at the pacing set that they set for this, at 400 a day, which I think a couple of the Beamer Gators actually tested it, was able to cap out in less than or at 30 minutes. Yeah, that's just a single round of dailies in Grandis. That's like, and not even to, not only that, the daily quest that you get for the Soul Earth energy. 400 plus 600 is 1,000. 1,000 divided by 500, you need 500 Soul Earth energy to make one Soul Earth, if I remember correctly, the math. So, oh wait, no, I'm an idiot. It's 1,000. So yeah, that's literally one Soul Earth per day, and that is not enough. That is slowing us down by a large freaking amount. To the point where you're removing the grinding part of the game. Sure, it's only one portion of the game, but at this point, it's the primary focus of the game for a majority of the player base. Sure, 260 is not the easiest to get to, it's easier by far nowadays, but if you're going to prevent people from progressing, from playing the game, and if I remember correctly, someone did the math, if you kill every weekly boss up to Kalos, or just below Kalos, I forgot which one it was, it'll take you approximately anywhere from 650 plus days, which I'm not okay with. For something as pinnacle as skills, like, if you're gonna do something like that, you might as well nerf 5th job skills, 4th job skill points. Like, it makes no sense. Like, why would you do that? Like, okay, and here's the other thing I mentioned earlier about when CM Jade actually said something, at the very least said something, that they're gonna look into it on Monday. Logically speaking, once again, Monday's when they come back for work. There's no teams active at Nexon to look at this, who are on staff. So because of that, that brings me to the point of communication again. The player base, when you see a bombshell like this, the player base can do nothing but speculate, make brass freaking long shot assumptions. If you at the very least communicated to us saying, hey, we're doing this because of reasons A through Z. Mind you, in Nexon's defense, this is test server. No patch notes are out. No resources are available to the general populace for us to actually look and say, oh, hey, they did say something. So I'm not going to give Nexon too much, shit for that. But at the very least, if it's not blatantly apparent what the reason may be, there's really no defense for that. So, sort of daily cap, Nexon, if you do not remove it, heck, I'm almost considering quitting the game. Like, I might just, instead of doing, going hard on the game anymore, or, making actual progression, I might just relegate myself to, permanent daily story. I'll still play the game, mind you, but I won't be as active. Still, it kind of defeats the purpose of when the game is grinding, and you handicap grind, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Missile Shop, I'm not gonna cover that, mostly because I have mixed feelings about, so I don't really have anything. White Jade Ring Box. So those don't know what these are, Tower of Oz got, not nerfed, but Tower of Oz got changed, which I'm pretty sure a majority of the populace was okay with. Even I am, sort of. But essentially, the rings on KMS. The White Jade box is the best box from, if I remember correctly, it's from Chaos to Numbers and above. So it's already hard to get, although arguably on Reboot is not. It's actually instant, so, but that's besides the point. The point is, when you have something that is level, that gives you the best chance at getting a very big improvement to your account from a hard piece of content, and it's been teased, for, in other regions, and then you do this? Levels 1 through 4. Okay, mind you, we don't have any data. So, once again, I'm going to try and defend Nexon and give you a little bit of perspective. And maybe hypothesize a little something. The only way I can see this change of only getting level 3 to 4 rings versus what we're seeing right now, getting levels 1 through 4 rings, the only way I'd be okay with it is if, this is a big if, because we will never know unless we crowdsource data, which we can't do yet, or for a good while, because we need a large enough sample pool. But I will only be okay with is if the rings are levels 1 through 4, wait for it, and the better rings, Weapon Jump and Roar, had a significantly higher chance of you getting it compared to the other rings that are available. while still giving you levels 1 through 4. That is the only way it'll make sense. But seeing as Nexon has, said in the past, in the times they have communicated with us, saying, hey, we're going to try and streamline stuff or, fall in line with KMS. That just throws whatever I just said out the fucking window because of one simple thing. If you want to match A with A, but you do something wonky like matching A to like AB and a couple other fucking numbers, that makes no sense. That makes no sense. Because if you're going to change one thing, and me hypothesizing changing a couple other things in the same thing while it's doing that, that's just really stupid. So, if they don't just be transparent and say, yes, weapon jump, roar, and whatever the other good rings are, comparatively, are a higher chance to be obtained from the White Jade box than the level 1 through 4 versus the level 3 to 4 attainability of the rings from that box, are not remedied, what the fuck? You need to tell people things. But once again, it is the weekend. We have to wait until Monday. So hopefully tomorrow, at the best, on Monday, they better say something. If not afterwards, at the worst, before the patch goes live. Because if the test server is concluded and they don't give us a response saying, like, hey, we are going to fix this, that's a big issue. And then we got Frenzy Totem and Instance Maps. As someone who plays on a Reboot, I don't really care about it because it doesn't impact me, but I am at least understanding the impact it will have. So let's read it to be specific. In New Age, Instance Maps will be coming, which is good. 2 players can share a map and have their own set of monsters spawn, which essentially doubles the amount of maps per channel for each map by 2. Essentially making it impossible to steal one another, which is great. This is great. I need to change and reboot. Agreed. In regular servers, however, this change is completely unneeded. Pretty much. There's a lot of maps and there's very few people. In Grandis instance maps functions like other instance maps in the game right now, Frenzy Totem spawn will not work in Grandis maps. No one in a regular server wants instance maps due to Frenzy. I can agree. Like, oh, we get KMS to GMS, no totems. No, shut up. Shut up. My argument on this one is the fact that you cannot just have something of such immense value and impact to a server's meta, culture, whatever you want to call it, and then just slit it at the fucking neck. What the hell? Especially when the item itself said, okay, that's a little bit of a moot point. I'll say it anyways. We already been confirmed Frenzy Totem would have lasted from level 3, will not go above 300 and above in terms of being usable. Which, okay, makes sense. 260 to 300, that's a big-ass gap. So, logically speaking, you might want to curve it at the end. You don't want a straight, easy track to the end game, which obviously still, level 300 and above is going to be hard as fuck. Especially from someone like Niru, who is going hard as hell. Respect to him, but please take care of your health, man. But yeah, back to the point. You can't just gut it like that. Especially, sure, give them instance maps, but find a way to make Frenzy Totem not become, out of the general population's, meta, or what the norm is. You can't just do that. Like, damn. There's probably some more points for Frenzy Totem, but as someone who plays on Reboot who doesn't have that much of an insight or mindset that revolves around Frenzy Totem, I'm gonna let other content creators from the regular server cover this, or just people who have more knowledge on this cover it. So if you want to talk about that, guys, please by all means talk in the comments about it. I'm gonna leave that to you guys because I don't have enough information, so I'm not gonna blatantly say things that are not gonna make any points, valid points. 100% ICOGs and YQs, I'm going to leave that alone because I do not know anything about those, or I don't know any information about that. Maybe story censoring. Oh, yeah. This one, I both understand, but at the same time I hate, but I only hate it because I don't know if this is the exact purpose or reason that they did this for. Maybe story censoring. In Friday's live stream, the moderator censored Frenzy Totem and Red Car Familiars. In different forms, abbreviations, shortened versions of it. All 4 live stream hosts could 100% see that the community wanted answers to Frenzy Tunnel or Red Familiar cards. But actively avoided the topic. The entire 1 hour live stream invites the official MapleStory Discord is currently paused, probably due to the outrage. Next, in other words, the potential backlash, but hoping the way out the outrage. Yeah, the last part, I'm almost confident that's probably the case. But like I said, this is me making assumptions based off of what's present. So let's try and rationalize this. Let's try and rationalize this. Censoring highly repeated words. What does that tell you? They don't want to hear it. They don't want spam. It's a whole multitude of things. So you can argue that one, Nexon's doing spam control. They're privy to the fact that they know these are hot topics that they're addressing in the future. But based off of the verbiage of the community managers and people present on the streams who have actually blatantly said, we have nothing to talk about for the red familiar cubes yet, red familiar cards, grandest familiar stuff like that. There are things they're not allowed to say. Remember, they're community managers. They work for Nexon. NDA. Like, I have NDA. I'm not allowed to talk about certain things. We're not allowed to show certain things. There's that. I understand where they're coming from. So that's my take on that. But I also agree that if you're going to then censor it on all platforms, sure, censor it on Twitch, because the community managers and the staff need to see what people are saying so they can respond to actual questions that are not constantly spam, which is kind of contradicting what I said, but if you understand what I'm saying, you understand what I'm saying. If you don't, then I'm sorry, I'm not very good with words. But essentially, sure, control spam on an active live feed. Because last time I looked, there was a long list of the same copy pasta, which obviously that technically is both a good and bad thing. Good on our part, saying like, hey, Nexon, we hate this. Look at this. But on the Nexon side, I can also acknowledge the fact that that's spam. They don't want spam, which is, just spamming one thing amongst other, like, complaints being pushed away. There's so much I can say about this, but it's too much back and forth points on this one, so I'm gonna ignore that one for the time being. And let's see, what else? We called our solar to know. Solar fragments, that those who don't know, are essential to leveling up and unlocking. It could be both either or just activating or just enhancing, but besides the point. They're very much needed for 6th job. And if you play on multiple characters, like I do, I have 2 characters who can do 6th job right now, 1 coming up later. If I want to do dailies on all of them, which I will be, I will inadvertently gather solar fragments. And all the other resources, whichever one specifically. Solar fragments, solar energy, there's too many, so I'm just gonna say solar in general to keep things consistent. So if you're gonna prevent me from getting solar from dailies and then diverting them all to one character, like you can with nodes, like you can get them with droplets. Like, why? But yeah. But I don't think that's the basic argument of what people are having. I think people are mostly complaining about the fact that it's untradeable on regular server, where, regular, reboot, regular is community market driven, reboot is more solo, non-market tradable, untradeable, which is literally the essence of it, but be consistent about the fact that it's, untradeable on that one. Nodes, droplets aren't. Yeah. The fuck? But, and then you have regular server, where it is a literal market-driven server. There's a market, there's an economy, there's an ups and downs to all that shit. Why is it untradeable? Like, make us the same as KMS if you're going to say you're gonna make us the same as KMS. You can't just give us one thing that isn't the other when you bring it over. It makes no sense. But once again, we don't know why. We don't know their reasoning. And I hope to freaking God that when this patch goes live, that we get the good old developer notes. Remember when they used to do that? I think they still do. I just don't remember seeing it. It's because if there isn't, and they're just gonna let all this shit fly in the wind. No, there's only so much I can, like, I've already blatantly said this in the past. I give credit where credit is due. I give you shit when you deserve it. I will not blatantly say like, oh shit company, blah blah blah, Nexon staff don't care. I won't say that. I will only say things that are warranted. But things like the developer notes are highly needed. They're critical. Communication, both as a professional thing, personal thing, just anything in the world. Communication is key. If you don't say something, we're going to assume. We can assume from anywhere from the worst to the best. And the best rarely ever happens. The worst is usually where we go. Like, the lower we set our expectations, the better any good thing happens. Feels So yeah. What else is there to go? Boycott. Yeah, I'm not going to cover the boycott because MapleStory has a consistent track record of never boycotting correctly because people don't know how to boycott. Is it don't play the game? Is it don't purchase? I'm not going to cover that because it's broad. Actually, it's pretty much a simple topic, but people just don't understand how to boycott. So I'm going to ignore that as a whole. Boycott if you want, boycott if you don't. I don't care because if people aren't going to be consistent about it, I can't say anything about it. I can't do anything about it. But yeah, the point being, after all of what is being said, is let's go back up to it so I can make the key points if people just want to look at the end for a TLDR. One, so early daily cap. Get rid of that. No point of it existing. Missile shop inflation. Not covering that because I can't. White Jade ring box nerf. Fix that. Or give us the reason. Or give us the actual feasible data. Frenzy totem. I don't have a valid fix for this because once again I am reboot. I don't have a extensive knowledge on Frenzy Totem. I don't know how to make it work. I'm not creative enough for that. Based off my content is fucking uncreative as hell. So that's just self-evident. Instance maps, very good, good direction, but make it work with Frenzy Totem. Find a way to make it work. ICOGs and white cubes. I can't give my opinion on that because I don't know. Censorship. I think I've already made my point blatantly obvious about that. It makes sense, it doesn't make sense. It's kind of it makes sense and it sucks. It's not that it doesn't make sense, it just sucks. But at the very least, we still have two avenues of approach for feedback and whatnot. MapleStory forums. Link will be in the description on that. So please go there, make your opinion noted, go to that forum. And if you're going there, remember, don't just spread hate. Don't just spout out trash. Actually provide feedback. Give like an extensive, hey, this sucks because of this reason, this reason, these reasons. Not because, don't speak out of emotion. Speak out of logic. Actually give your actual 2 cents without like putting a neck to Nexon's throat. Don't do that. That's not how you do things. Sure, you get your point across, but you're not saying what the problem is. So when you go there, please actually say what it is. And then you got Reddit. Reddit is... Okay, maybe go to the Reddit. If you're gonna go to Reddit, go to posts like this one where it's like made by an actual like moderator. So less likely to be full of just But yeah, Reddit's a little bit more of a weird situation, but obviously you got people yeah, that's a lot. Yeah. So yeah, you got MapleStory forums, you got Reddit. So yeah. Those are where we can go. This is my opinion. And remember, if you're going to provide feedback, provide feedback. Don't just scream and shout. Be coherent. And Nexon, if you see this, please understand, I am not saying anything out of pure negativity or hate if anything came off as such. I am just trying to do my part as somebody who's part of the influencer group to help portray and get the community's, feelings across, because I don't really care about a lot of things in this game most of the times when it comes to something like this before, but stuff like this where it's highly impactful for something highly anticipated, that's just a different category of BS that needs to be addressed. So once again, I'm trying to provide feedback and provide a platform for people to talk about this. So with that being said, if you guys don't want to use the forums, you don't want to use the Reddit, you can always use the comments. Hopefully Nexon actually does look at our videos, because I'm not the only one who's made a video about this, and I won't be the last. Hopefully Nexon actually goes around, which I don't know if they will or not, but let's hope. Let's hope. Let's hope these changes are made. Let's hope these no, not just made, but hopefully they're at least addressed. Once again, remember, it's the weekend. It's the weekend. They don't work on the weekend. We are lucky we even got a response on the weekend. If as blanket of a coverage it was, but remember, don't give Nexon shit like don't give Nexon staff any shit. Don't give content creators shit. Specifically that one person who gave me BS during Veterans Day. Hey, guess what? I'm a veteran. I lost people. Fuck you. So with that being said, that's the end of this tirade that I'm having. A little bit of feedback. Let's hope they're addressed and hopefully they get corrected, or at the very least they get reduced in their craziness. So with that being said, thanks for watching. Please say stuff in the comments about this so people next time can actually see it and so we can actually have a dialogue about this. And thank you for the support, and I'll see you guys in the next video, because that one's gonna be reviewing the 6-star event video. Yeah, that one's gonna be Yeah, that's gonna be a situation.